Once upon a time, in a world not too long ago, there was a chilly era known as the Cold War. Now, this wasn't a war fought with tanks and soldiers charging into battle. No, Sire. It was a war of ideologies, a colossal game of chess played by two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Our story begins in the small town of Frostville, where the folks were as warm as apple pie, but the tension in the air was colder than a polar bear's toenails. You see, the whole world was split into two camps, one waving the star-spangled banner, the other brandishing the hammer and sickle. In Frostville, there was a cozy diner named the Neutral Ground. It was the go-to spot for locals to share stories, sip on coffee, and, most importantly, try to stay neutral in a world spinning with suspicion. The diner was run by a wise old lady named Edna. She had seen her fair share of storms, but nothing quite like the icy wind blowing through global politics. Edna's diner became the unofficial meeting place for locals who wanted to thaw the frozen relations between the two superpowers. One day, as Edna was wiping down the counter, two gentlemen walked in. One was Joe, a friendly farmer with a straw hat representing the American spirit. The other was Ivan, a mustached man with a hearty laugh, embodying the Soviet charm. "Morning, Edna," they chorused. "Morning, boys. What can I get you?" Edna asked, wiping her hands on her apron. The duo sat at the counter, sipping their coffee and exchanging pleasantries. It turned out they both loved the same things: good food, laughter, and a warm community. They soon discovered that despite their differences, they were. As weeks turned into months, Frostville became a symbol of unity, proving that even in the coldest of times, warmth could prevail. The town's story spread, catching the attention of leaders on both sides of the world. One day, a letter arrived at the Neutral Ground. It was an invitation for Joe and Ivan to attend a peace summit in a faraway land. The leaders wanted to see if the warmth that started in Frostville could melt the ice between their nations. So off Joe and Ivan went, leaving Frostville behind. The world held its breath as they stepped onto the international stage, hoping that the spirit of friendship they had fostered would be contagious. And you know what? It worked. The Cold War began to thaw, and the world started feeling a little warmer. All thanks to a small town, a wise lady, and the power of breaking bread together. And that, my friends, is how a town called Frostville became the heartwarming tale that softened the frostiest chapter in history.